Yesterday, I talked about this friend of mine who had been my mentor and taught me how to feel love from the universe and receive it. And coincidentally, yesterday, I listened to this podcast about Anita Moorjani, who is a New York Times best-selling author of Dying to Be Me. And she had a very unusual near-death life experience that is frequently called NDE. She described her experience of this nearly dying out of cancer, and she went into a coma after 4 years battling with cancer. And while he lied in the hospital bed, and her spirits left her body, and it enabled her to experience a heaven-like experience that is quite different from what she had experienced in the past in real life. And by contrasting this heaven-like experience and her real life experience in the past, she made it clear that there are two types of living. One is living based on fear, and the other is living based on love and passion. And these two different lifestyle results very different attitudes towards life. For instance, she mentioned in the past, she had lived out of fear. She had always treated herself as a doormat, putting her own needs at last. She had a very strict father who tended to criticize her often. So she always felt like she was not good enough in school and at work, and she constantly feared of failing tests in school and failing exams in the university and getting a good job, getting a good salary. In a word, he was living in survival mode. And this kind of fear made her life like hell. And she realized later that this is the root cause of her cancer. This is how she got cancer. Because she didn't live an authentic life. She didn't live a life of purpose and passion. And that created stress and pain and ultimately leading towards illness. And by focusing on living a life of fearlessness, of passion, of clarity of purpose, she was able to recover from her cancer in just weeks' time. So it was a miraculous experience, and that many the world's famous medical researchers and practitioners have researched on her, included her case in some of the academic articles they published. And now she is going around the world on tours to share her special experience and what she learned from this, and teach people how to live a life of purpose. Because when we live out of love and passion, we will not think about and focus on the things that we are not good at. Instead, we will focus on what we could do instead to change our life status and achieve what we want, so that we can live a life of authentic meaning and enjoy our life more. She also called out to the empaths in this world to tell them that to live a life out of love and to really love yourself and realize that you are truly powerful, and to take leadership roles to create more impact in this world. Because as empaths, just like my friend I mentioned yesterday, these are the kind of people who can understand people's emotions and mental states out of natural instincts, out of their natural gifts. So they are really talented yet sensitive people. And such people usually take the stress of the outside world and make it internal. And so they tend to bear the burden that they shouldn't be bearing. Just like Anita, like when she no longer focus on trying to survive in this world, trying to compete with anyone else, a lot of people criticize her for being too delusional. Yeah, they use delusional, such a word, and they disagree with her strongly. And they told her that this is just daydreaming. You should be realistic. You should be earning your living and try to make money and try to hustle and try to fear of the consequence of not earning enough money or something like that. But instead, Anita was very courageous. She realized that in order to live her own life of her own purpose, she really need to stand up on her own. She really need to believe in her own purpose, no matter what other people say. So she truly believed in herself. And now she has experienced heaven-like experience in her real life. And so from that point, she has really succeeded in pursuing and living out of her dream and purpose. Well, her story is really inspiring, and I strongly recommend you to read her books and go to this podcast to learn more about this experience, because this will shed light on why we need to find and pursue a higher life purpose.